If you're prepping for the CMA exam, studying the material is only part of the battle. You also need to understand the CMA exam guidelines because the last thing you want to do is walk into test day and realize you don't actually know how the exam works. So in this video, we're breaking down the CMA exam, the two exam parts, what topics are tested, how long the exam is, how scoring works, where you take it, and the big 2026 format change you absolutely need to know about. Essays are out, case-based questions are in. And yes, we're going to talk about exactly what that means. But before we get started, here at Crush Your Exam, we post new content every day, including study tips, career advice, and exam prep course reviews. So if that interests you, subscribe for more. Now, let's get started. First, let's cover the basics. The CMA, or Certified Management Accountant, is a professional certification for accounting and finance professionals who want to focus on financial planning, analysis, decision support, performance management, and strategic financial management. In other words, the CMA is not just about recording what happened in the business, it's about helping the business decide what to do next. The exam has two parts, and you can take them in either order. Part 1 is financial planning, performance, and analytics, and this section covers external financial reporting decisions, planning, budgeting, forecasting, performance management, cost management, internal controls, and technology and analytics. Part 1 is really asking, can you plan, measure, control, and analyze business performance? You'll see topics like budgets, forecasts, variance analysis, costing systems, internal controls, data governance, and analytics. Part 2 is strategic financial management, and this section covers financial statement analysis, corporate finance, business decision analysis, enterprise risk management, capital investment decisions, and professional ethics. So part 2 is more focused on strategy. Can you analyze financial statements? Can you evaluate risk? Can you make smart investment decisions? Can you understand financing, working capital, cost of capital, and ethical decision making? A simple way to remember it is this. Part 1 is more about planning and managing performance. Part 2 is more about analyzing, deciding, and leading strategically. Here's the CMA content specification overview if you're curious about specific topics and weights. Now let's talk exam format. Each CMA exam part is 4 hours long, consisting of 100 multiple choice questions and followed by 2 case-based question sets. The MCQs make up 75% of your score, while the CBQs account for 25%. The exam is computer-based and for most candidates is taken in person at a Prometric testing center. So you'll register through IMA, receive your authorization a few days later, and then schedule your appointment with Prometric. The CMA exam is offered during 3 testing windows each year: January and February, May and June, and September and October. So you do have flexibility, but you need to plan ahead as you can only test during these official windows. Now let's talk about the biggest update, the case-based questions. For a long time, CMA candidates had to tackle multiple choice questions and essay questions, but going forward, for most English language CMA candidates, the long-form essays are out and case-based questions, or CBQs, are in. And honestly, this is a big deal. So instead of writing long essay responses, you'll now work through short business scenarios. Each case-based question includes a short case study around 250 words, followed by a set of 5 to 7 questions. And these can include formats like drag and drop, fill in the blank, select from a list, and calculation questions. Think solving math equations. So this is not just read a paragraph and pick A, B, C, or D. You may need to analyze a situation, pull out the important details, perform a calculation, interpret the result, and choose or enter the correct response. But the response style is more structured than the old essay format. That means if you were nervous about writing long-form essay answers, this change may feel a little less intimidating. But please don't hear no essays and think, oh, so the exam is easier. The CMA exam is still testing the same content and the same level of applied knowledge. The format is changing, not the expectations. That said, your study strategy needs to change a little too. You should still practice multiple choice questions, but you also need to practice reading business scenarios and answering questions based on the information in the case. And yes, it can get a little verbose, so you may want to brush up on your business and finance lingo too. Ultimately, the CBQs are testing whether you can use the material like a working management accountant, not just whether you memorized a formula 5 minutes ago. Now let's talk scoring. Each CMA exam part is scored on a scale from 0 to 500, and you need a 360 to pass. I know what you're thinking, what's the percentage? But that isn't really how it works. The CMA uses scaled scoring, so 360 out of 500 doesn't mean you need 72% correct to pass. There is also a gatekeeping rule for the multiple choice section. You need to answer at least 50% of the multiple choice questions correctly in order to move on to the case-based question section. So if you don't clear that MCQ threshold, you don't get to take the second section. And that means the multiple choice questions matter a lot. The good news, there's no penalty for wrong answers, so never leave a question blank. If you're running out of time, you have a 25% shot to earn some points. Take it. The case-based question section also allows partial credit, so even if you don't nail every single part perfectly, you may still be able to earn points. That's another reason to stay calm and work through what you know. Now, let's talk timing. You have 4 hours for each exam part. Traditionally, candidates think of this as roughly 3 hours for the multiple choice questions and 1 hour for the CBQ section. With 100 MCQs, that means you cannot spend 5 minutes debating every single question. You need a pacing strategy. A good starting point is to aim for about 1.5 minutes per multiple choice question, knowing that some will be faster and some will take longer. And if a question is taking too much time, make a smart guess, flag it, and move on. The goal isn't to prove you can conquer one impossible question. The goal is to collect as many points as possible across the whole exam. Also, don't assume you'll get a luxurious break in the middle. Plan as if your exam clock won't stop. Use the restroom before you go in, know the test center rules, and make your test day as boring and predictable as possible. And please check your ID calculator rules, appointment time, and prometric location before the exam day. Give it at least a week and check again the day before, just in case. This exam is stressful enough without realizing your testing center is farther away than you thought. Okay, those are the bases. So now the question is, how should you prepare under these CMA exam guidelines? It's not easy, but it is simple. Here are 5 quick tips. First, know which part you're taking and study from the official topic structure. Second, practice multiple choice questions under timed conditions. Third, make sure your prep includes case-based question practice, not just old essay practice. Fourth, don't only memorize formulas, practice using them in context. And finally, fifth, don't wait until the week before your exam to understand the format. I'm going to link some more resources in the description to help you get ready for the big day, so don't forget to check it out before you leave. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, but here's the bottom line. The CMA exam is challenging, but it becomes much less intimidating when you know how to play the game. Know the parts, know the topics, know the timing, know the scoring, and get familiar with the new CBQ format early as soon as possible. And honestly, don't stress too much. You've got a marathon ahead, not a sprint, and it's normal not to pass on your first try. As long as you keep going and put your all into this journey, I have no doubt you'll walk out of the test room knowing you nailed it. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. We post new content every single day, everything from mini pep talks to deep dive prep course reviews. Take care.